What are you doing? Child.
If
child.
I don't
Stop.
call you on your mess,
Stop.
am I really your friend?
Welcome to the Cackling Coven. We are going to be reading some Reddit stories today and discussing them. I'm joined by my co-hosts Shannon and Jay.
Hello.
And I have not written better intros for any of this yet, so stay tuned for better written intros.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, we've got all
Fancy.
sorts of plans for things.
We're
But
big
yeah,
planners.
we've got some stories from the Am I the Asshole subreddit today, and we're going to see what we think of them. We have some background here as a poly a family.
Yes, yes.
So we some of these stories may have something to do with polyamory or ethical non-monogamy in some way.
Oh boy.
And have our opinions on that.
Exciting.
Oh, I have a quick question.
Okay.
Can we pull a card now? A tarot card to set the theme of today and kind of start to get an
forget to
idea of what we
knock.
might experience.
Yes. Okay, I've got my hands free, so
I'd like Shannon to draw a card.
Oh shit. I was gonna knock.
yeah.
You're closer to the veil.
Yeah,
I think.
we've got our tarot deck here so that we can try to draw a card and see what we come up with. I don't think any of us have it memorized what card is what really yet, so we're gonna have to.
There's a pamphlet.
Yeah.
Can cheat.
Which deck are we drawing
This
from?
is the
Well,
Rider.
I'm gonna
The classic
Classic
Rider
Rider
tarot
tarot
deck.
Oh, you're gonna do.
just could you hold that for
Yeah.
a second?
See, I was trying to make it go quick and just let you draw a card. Okay.
Gotta put the breath of the witch on the deck. All right.
All right. Well, that's an upside down Knight of Pentacles.
Oh dear.
I mean, upside down from what I was given. I don't know if that's going to show up on camera
Reversed.
at all. Reversed, yes. So, see if I can find that real quick in our little
Alright.
book.
The theme of this episode. That's what we're going for.
Okay, theme of the episode. Knight of Pentacles rides a slow, enduring, heavy horse to which his own aspect corresponds. Reversed meaning is inertia, idleness, repose of that kind, stagnation, also discouragement or carelessness.
Oh, I'm hearing carelessness as a key word here. So
yeah.
we'll see if people are behaving carelessly.
Yeah. Well, we do have our first post from Am I the Asshole? So it's possible there's some careless behavior.
Yeah.
Yes, that's going to be accurate.
A very good theme happening here.
All right, from a deleted account.
That's always a good sign.
Oh yeah.
someone
start.
faffoed.
Uh-huh. Am I the asshole for telling someone I don't like them because they're trans?
Ooh.
All right. This is a
Not a
very
good
provocative
start.
headline.
Yeah. From the headline, it's the default would be probably, but let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do.
I know it sounds bad from the title, but just hear me out. So I, 23-year-old man, have this friend, Ashley, male to female, that I've known for years and has only recently come out as trans, about 9 months or so ago. Pre-transition, Ashley identified as a gay man, and we got on really well. We would hang out one-on-one outside of our friend group, which is mainly girls and gay guys. Pretty much as soon as she came out, she would refer to me with female pronouns and feminizing my name when talking about me, even with strangers. At the beginning, I just let it go because she had a lot going on, and I thought she'd move on from it. She didn't, and it started to get more consistent and malicious? ?
I can see that.
Yeah, I mentioned it to some of the other girls in our group, and they agreed it's weird, and the irony of a trans person purposefully misgendering and using a different name for someone isn't lost on any of us. So the friends are at least okay.
They're clocking
They seem
it.
to be agreeing. I've spoken to Ashley, and they have too, but she just blows it off as a joke and that we are being overly sensitive.
Oh, whatever.
As it started getting worse, I would spend more and more time with other friends, and when I was with the Ashley friend group, I'd make a swift enough exit when Ashley got there.
Yeah, that sounds like something I would do. Just avoid the conflict entirely.
Yeah. I
I don't know what's going on there, but I'm going to be in the other room.
I mean, Ashley is is pushing him away from this friend group, and the other friends are helping to push him away from this friend group by not, letting Ashley know that this is a problem.
Yeah. They're
If
probably
I
trying
were
to
a
be very
friend,
careful.
Letting them get away.
I'd be like, what are you doing? Child,
If
child,
I don't
stop.
call you on your mess,
Stop.
am I really your friend?
Yeah.
But maybe they're just trying to be really careful because when you first transition, it's a very delicate time. Maybe you give some people some grace you wouldn't ordinarily, but someone's being harmed here.
Yeah. It's possible Ashley is on, new hormones and things like that
Entirely possible.
could be messing with their behavior. But when the friend group is coming to you and saying it's not that serious, it's just a joke, and they let you know this isn't okay, and they say yes, it is because it's a joke.
No.
No,
Jokes have
something.
Not a
punchlines.
Yeah, something being a joke
Who's
to
laughing?
you doesn't make it okay if it still offends other
That's
people.
the thing.
Who's laughing
If
at
you're the only
this?
one laughing at a joke,
Yeah.
maybe stop and consider it's not a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, and in general, for jokes, a person is not a punchline.
Yeah. Not supposed
Like,
to.
the fact that you've upset someone is not a punchline.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you're learning a little about our humor here. Okay, so this continues.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it all came to a head at a house party a couple weeks ago. I'd had a bit to drink before Ashley arrived and went straight into referring to me as a she and using my feminized name. I'm curious what the feminized name is, but I guess this person wants their anonymity.
Yeah, it could be like if it's Mike, then they might say Micah, or like it could be.
or
Michelle.
Alexa,
Mhm,
or
yeah.
something.
I mean, Alex is both.
Well,
Yeah.
Alexandria. Let's see. When this happened, I'd just move rooms and not really say anything. Later on in the night, she caught me outside having a smoke with some other friends and accused me of not liking her anymore because she's trans.
Ooh.
It's not the first time she's used the because I'm trans line, but it's the first time I've risen to it.
Ooh, here we go.
I was annoyed, exacerbated, and drunk. So I basically told her, it's only since you've come out that you think it's fine to transify me, not using my name or respecting my pronouns. And if you think that's okay because you're trans, then yes, I dislike you because you're trans. And with that, I left.
Good.
Okay, I mean, that's just like that's a phrase they're using to match conflict with conflict.
Yeah.
I think even at that point, saying that, then yes, I dislike you because you're trans. They still don't even mean that. It's just kind of like trying to burn within the context that they've been put
Yeah,
into.
saying, if you think that being trans means that you can treat other people this way, then I hate you for that.
Yeah.
But
it's
not
kind of a logic problem
Yeah,
here.
yeah. But again, this person's
just
drunk
a
at
line.
a party.
It's just a line. They still didn't really mean it that way.
Yeah, yeah. And it's because Ashley keeps coming back with, oh, you're only having this judgment, you're only treating me this way because I'm trans, when really it's because, no, you're not trans, you're just an asshole.
Like within that group, mostly women and gay men, okay? Obviously, there's a little bit of acceptance. We can't assume total acceptance.
Sure.
But we're in the context of a very accepting group. So if you're going to call someone out and say, you hate me because I'm trans within that group, you're actively trying to pit the entire party against someone by accusing them of something. You're putting them in the most high conflict situation they could possibly be in. This is like a really crappy thing to do to someone. So I understand snapping back in a really firm way and maybe in a slightly insensitive way.
Yeah.
That's
I
like
feel like
Ashley put him on notice
they've
there
been
and he had to
pretty
clap
friggin'
back.
Well, and-
Insensitive, so.
Well, and that word he used, trying to transify me, like, it's not, that doesn't feel like he's saying that in an anti-trans way, but it says that it's like, it feels like this friend wants him to be trans with her.
Like real bad
Yeah.
in an inexplicable way.
So I heard later on from friends that I was outside smoking with that Ashley went inside crying after it all went down and accused me of an unprovoked transphobic tirade. Thankfully,
No,
they
no.
told everyone what actually happened and how it went down.
Good.
It killed the mood of the party, and it ended pretty quickly after that. I definitely could have handled it better, okay? But I feel like if the roles were reversed and I was dead naming and misgendering Ashley purposefully, I'd be absolutely villainized.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I've had a couple of the girls text me and ask me to apologize to make peace. And I probably would have
no.
if Ashley didn't go in and accuse me of what she did. I'm conflicted. I haven't really spoken to anyone in that friend group properly since it happened, and that hurts because they're close friends of mine, but I also feel like I need to stand up for myself. So help me out. Am I the asshole?
Listen, in the past, I would have been confronted with something like that, and I would have been more concerned with appeasement and diplomacy
Mm-hmm.
than in whether or not I'm right and whether or not I personally have been harmed by someone else's actions. I would have just tried to make it right.
Yeah.
But since 2020, I'm going to say that's not what we do anymore. Now we talk about our boundaries and we work on communication to the extent that we can.
Mm-hmm.
And if we feel harmed by something, we say it, just like how Ashley has a right to whatever's going on in her head say you're mistreating me because I'm trans. This person has a right to say, no, this is my boundary. I'm not accepting this. You can't misgender me, and I'm going to stick by it. It's what we do now. And if our friend group can't hang with us having boundaries, that tells us about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say burn that bridge.
Burn it.
I'd be like, ugh.
Yeah, like either you don't want to tell a friend group they have to choose between you and someone else, but at a
They're
certain
already
point,
choosing.
They already
yeah,
did.
yeah, you have to at a certain point. It's like, yeah, if they're going to be invited to this party, I'm not going to go to that party.
They want you
So-
to compromise yourself
Yeah,
for the good of the group. Nah, suck it.
They want him to sit there and be called a different name in public by someone to protect the other person's right to be mean?
yeah.
That's not okay.
If I were in that-
Absolutely not.
If I were in that friend group and I heard this happen, I would immediately be like, correct. Actually, his name is. In
Yeah.
case you forgot this person you've known for so many years, his name is whatever his name. Like, just be like, I know you know this, but let me correct you every time.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. It's not funny.
Yeah.
I feel like the friends should not be like, hey, you need to go apologize for the good of everything. No. I think they need to apologize and be like,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, we didn't stick up for you.
Yep.
We just
Yep.
let this person mistreat you.
So we've got some comments here. We've got a comment
Oh.
with 420 upvotes,
Oh
so
my.
you know it's going to
Woo.
be good.
Oh, yeah. 420. Whoop, whoop.
20.
Given how well they got along prior to these events, I'm not sure it's such a simple case of her being evil or malicious. While I don't deny she's the asshole in this situation, I'd be willing to bet her motivations come from one of two places. One, she wants someone else to be trans with her so she's not alone and is trying to push OP into occupying that position because, for whatever reason, she sees OP as the most likely candidate or the similarities between OP and herself.
And also, they used to be really close. Like,
Mhm.
they've been really close for a while. So I'm sure OP has, witnessed the early days and been there throughout Ashley probably feels very close to this person and unlikely to
Are
harm
they
them
in
on
a
purpose.
relationship?
No,
But-
but it said that they were hanging out with the same friend groups. Like they would hang out together with different friend groups even.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
my first thought was that there probably is some sort of romantic something there. There's
Probably.
some kind of attachment issue or miscommunication that is leading to this almost negging behavior.
Yeah.
But we can't know the psyche of
Mhm.
Ashley in this. So point one, I think, is a good one.
Yeah. Or the other option this person says, she thinks because she's trans, she's therefore the expert on spotting those who are trans even before they know themselves. And thus views this as some sort of benevolent pushing OP in the right direction shit.
I don't like it.
In her mind, she's just helping OP identify themselves. I'm not saying it's impossible for her to be just a shitty person. Her actions are shitty, regardless. But I'd be more likely to think it's based on selfish, nasal-gazing motivations like these rather than malice.
Makes
Yeah.
me want to bash my head in with this microphone.
Yeah, well, I mean
Ugh.
that is the that rule of never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity. Like
Mm.
maybe
Yeah.
this person just is not thinking, has no idea how they're like not understanding how their actions are impacting someone else. Maybe they don't mean to be hurtful, but
I have a lot of judgment for humanity, but I don't think that most people deliberately wake up in the morning and choose to be evil. I
Yeah.
think it all comes from some place of hurt. Hurt people, hurt people. There's definitely some deep stuff
Yeah.
going on that explains this for Ashley, and I recommend therapy for everyone always.
Oh, yes.
It's helpful to dig into your own stuff and stop making it other people's problems. But yeah, there's a lot of trouble and trauma there, and it's fine for OP to have boundaries. I'm glad it sounds like OP is having boundaries.
Yeah, it sounds like it. A reply to that comment says that if it's door number 2, someone needs to inform this girlie about a thing I'm aware our trans siblings have called obeying the prime directive.
The prime directive.
Yeah,
Yes.
we are Star Trek nerds.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Time.
So another commenter comes in here for anyone who doesn't know the prime directive. The prime directive is a sort of joke reference to the plot device of the same name in Star Trek. In Star Trek, the Prime Directive is basically a set of rules prohibiting Starfleet operatives from announcing the existence of spacefaring civilizations to civilizations that haven't yet reached a specific social or technological level yet, as to not change the projected development of the civilization. In trans culture, the Prime Directive is similar, in so much that any specific person isn't trying to forcibly crack an egg. They capitalized egg. There, I don't know.
Yes.
Interesting. Even if you see similar behaviors as you've seen in yourself and other trans people, it is neither your responsibility nor right to try and force a person into any personal realizations. Namely, because oftentimes such aggressive measures often lead people to go deeper into the closet because they aren't yet ready for whatever they might find opening up that particular can of worms. Plus, it can be very annoying and offensive if you have taken the time to self-analyze, come to the conclusion that you're cis, and then have someone constantly insist, no, really you aren't, because I personally view your behaviors as that of a trans person in denial. Of course, if someone comes to you with questions, you can totally answer them to the best of your ability. Just try not to insist or imply anything and let them come to their own conclusion.
I love this because it applies to so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we begin a journey and we learn a little bit about ourselves and we realize, oh, hey, this thing I just learned about me that I wasn't aware of previously, but now I'm an expert on because I've read all the books.
Oh, yes.
Now I'm looking around at the people in my environment and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I know something about you. It's like anytime a college freshman goes to Psych 101, all of a sudden they're just diagnosing everyone around
yeah.
them
Oh, gosh.
with all the things
It's
because
true.
they just have a little bit more knowledge than they did before. And it's so pretentious and it can be harmful. Like, exposure therapy, if you have a fear of heights, exposure therapy can be helpful, but it must be guided by a professional with a safe landing place and some triage. And like, you can't just say, I'm your friend. I see that you have a fear of heights. So we're going to the top of the Eiffel Tower and I'm just going to watch you squirm and
Would
suffer.
literally have
And no,
to
trust me, this is good
knock
for
me
you.
unconscious.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I'd even get into the elevator.
There's a way to do this kind of thing thoughtfully and kindly, but you can't just drop it on somebody.
Absolutely.
And also, we see a lot more people being diagnosed now with autism spectrum, and I've seen posts all over social media with people just really, really rejecting anyone trying to like tell them, oh, well, it sounds like you might be a little spectrum. Like they have an averse reaction to it for a lot of different reasons. A lot of people don't want to be labeled because
The
they see it as a
stigma's
limitation.
still there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stigma there. And like, just because you start learning about it and it's helpful for you doesn't mean you should call your aunt and say, hey, we have a lot of similarities. Guess what? You're on the autism spectrum. Auntie's not ready to hear that.
Yeah.
Maybe leave her alone. Let her
She
have her
old
own journey.
now.
Yeah, and it's like yes, there's a lot more people being diagnosed with autism now, but it's not because people haven't had these kind of brain patterns before. It's
Right.
just we're in a world now where everyone is expected to interact with everyone else on the
Mhm.
planet constantly.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just like it used to be someone like us, someone who's a little autistic could just live in their house and do their routine every day, and no one would bother them. There was no reason to.
Yeah, and also like the science has come a long way and there's more research
Yeah.
and we have greater access to information than we've ever had before.
Yeah.
So, we don't call people a little special anymore. We don't call them a little touched anymore. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we say like there's maybe a label that you can put on them, but that's not a limitation. We still need so much more education before we can go around and start telling, oh, here's your problem. Because that's what it sounds like to most people.
Yeah.
Mm.
When you approach someone with a potential diagnosis, they're feeling, oh, here's your problem. Here's what's wrong with you. Here's what explains why people don't like you. Like they hear so much negative feedback in their head. They're not hearing concern from a friend in that moment.
It was a relief for me.
It was for me as well.
Yeah.
Being like, hey,
Not everyone wants
Shannon,
it.
did you know you're like autistic? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well,
It all
like,
makes sense now.
well, I also my ex when who had some kind of narcissistic personality traits. We don't need to
Some
get
kind? No.
into that in depth
Absolutely.
right
But
now.
we will
But-
podcast by podcast.
Yeah. We'll
We'll get
hear a
it.
little more about that later. But would tell me that I was autistic or had Asperger's or whatever. Obviously, that's not a word that's in use anymore. But that was
Correct,
the kind of
yeah.
terminology she would use as someone who thought she knew psychology.
Yeah.
And
How
so
brains are.
yeah, and eventually, once I finally started seeing a psychiatrist, did lots of tests, and I'd talk to him at multiple appointments, and he's like, "You're not autistic. You you interact just fine in social settings. I don't know what." like
Yeah,
like
but
so
it's also a spectrum.
yes,
So when you
yes.
say when you tell someone, "Oh, it sounds like you're a little autistic," you're not actually telling them anything actionable about themselves.
Mhm.
You need to be specific about what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, is the problem that this person feels that you're communicating in a non-traditional way? And is that a problem? Are they actually coming to you with a real issue? Or are they insulting you? Because I think most of the time it seems like a vague, non-specific attack on your character that leaves you wondering, like, what is your problem with me exactly?
Yeah. And like back to the prime directive thing, I can definitely see like as someone who, if you have a lot of if you're a gay man and you're hanging out with a lot of women and other gay men and trans friends, then like if people keep thinking, "Oh, well you're trans and in the closet." Getting that is like it just invalidating who you are, who you know
Yeah.
yourself to be on a regular basis. And it's the same kind of thing like, telling someone they're autistic, telling someone trying to convince someone to be polyamorous.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
you
all of-
Don't
can't
do that.
push that.
Yeah,
Never
Please-
do that.
Please don't. Leave
Yeah.
us alone.
That's so toxic. Don't ever do that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We
it
don't
needs to
want it.
be, like an explicit it's not my job to change anyone's lifestyle. It is not my job to tell anyone else who they are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We
in
talk
any
about our own
context.
experiences.
Yeah.
We talk, when you have a friend or a partner, you talk about your background, the struggles that you've had, how you've overcome them, what you've learned about yourself.
Hmm.
And if someone else identifies with that, then they can go off and do their own research and they can ask you, do you have any articles about that? Do you have any books you can share? But you never say, because this happened to me, I learned this and now I am this, and that's 100% applicable to you, because it's
Yeah.
really disrespecting who they are fundamentally as a human being and
Mm.
their journey
Mm.
and their wants and desires.
Yeah. Would you say that that Ashley was being reversed Knight of Pentacles careless
I would say
with,
that.
with her friend's emotions.
Oh, yes. 100% careless.
Yeah, just I mean,
Ashley,
quite legitimately just not
Ashley, you a bitch.
caring. Yes.
Come at me.
OP, not the asshole. Ashley, asshole.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Other
have
friends, kind of assholes.
I have no idea what's going on with Ashley, but in general, if you're misgendering someone,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a joke. It's not funny. And when someone tells you that they are harmed by it, you stop. The end.
And apologize.
Yeah,
For goodness
you really
sake.
should.
That's what decent people do. It's like, I hurt you? Oh, whoa, I'm sorry.
Yeah, an apology is also not a transaction. You don't get anything in return for your apology.
No.
They have a total right not to accept your apology
Mm-hmm.
and to express a boundary and to never speak to you again. You know, like
Yep.
if someone was calling me a guy's name every time I saw them and I asked them to stop and they didn't, I wouldn't hang out with them ever again.
Yeah, I'd throw
Mhm.
down.
Yeah.
They'd never hang out with my group again because I would
Yeah,
throw down.
I would flag
Yeah.
them as an unsafe person and I would no longer invite them to parties.
Run them out of town.
You know, we get a lot of flack, I think, as liberals for being real ready to cut people off
Sure.
when they are harming people in our group. But, you know, take a look at
It's
how
for our
conservatives behave.
Own good.
If you blaspheme the name of the Lord, you also get cut off. So I just think that everyone has a right to curate their own environment
Mm-hmm.
based on their own, you know, ethics and values, and that's fine. And if Ashley doesn't get to, you know, go to parties anymore, you know, Ashley can change Ashley's behavior and make a new group of friends,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. Consequences, repercussions.
Weird.
Hopefully we didn't lose any of that. What you were saying there.
It was only for a second.
Floki stepped on buttons on the control board.
Another
We've got-
crew member.
5 cat crew members who just generate chaos in the environment.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
They are part of the coven. They're our minions and our familiars.
They are
think
a large
it's
part of the
actually
reason why we cackle.
We're the familiar.
Yeah. We are serving them in their interests.
Mhm,
Absolutely. I mean, look at that monster.
I know.
He's just a beast. Oh,
Oh man.
He's just right off camera, but he's a void boy, so you don't see him. He blends until I touch him, and then you can see there's something there.
Yeah.
that's not
a
just a
mysterious
pillow.
That's not a pillow.
The eyes. It's watching.
Well, we're getting close to 30 minutes on this, so we might just do one story
Yeah.
Oh,
on
man.
this podcast. But since we were talking about the Prime Directive,
Oh,
Oh,
I feel
the
like we
Star
should draw
Trek.
a Star Trek tarot card.
Let's
We've
do
got
it.
the official Star Trek tarot deck here.
reviews to come soon. Ah, look at that.
All right. See what we got here. What is that? That is the I think it's the 9 of cloaks upside down.
Ah, yes.
9 of
think.
cloaks.
Or is, like I don't know which. Oh yeah, that's got to be right side up.
See if we can show the card.
Yeah. Can get
Star Trek deck. We
Yes.
pulled the 9 of cloaks.
Yeah, so this one has
Feels so nice.
a lot of, different. Yeah, the quality of the cards is really nice. It's the same manufacturer that did the Ghostbusters deck.
Yeah, we're
we
definitely
have.
going to do a series reviewing different tarot decks.
So, the reversed 9 of cloaks. Your starship is a husk of what it once was, barely able to make warp. This prolonged ordeal has left you callous and cruel, unable to see the good in the universe. Do not give in to this pessimism. There is still hope if you seek it out.
Okay. Were we
I
were we too
feel-
hard on Ashley?
Or is Ashley the one who's callous and cruel because of the
Oh.
ordeals that Ashley has gone through as a person transitioning?
I mean,
She
that
should
could
know
be.
better.
and their life is just been such an ordeal and such a slog that they're just see callousness and cruelty in the world and don't think there's anything wrong with
I mean,
treating other
maybe.
people like.
You do develop
Yeah.
a tough skin. You know, a lot of us over time, when we've been so mistreated and so unseen, so devalued,
Mhm.
we sometimes start adopting that as like, this is the way the world is. And maybe that's going on. It's like because Ashley was misgendered so much
Yeah.
and it was treated as a joke and no one stood up for Ashley,
Could
that
be.
now, yeah, this is how you interact in public. You make jokes about gender.
Yeah, because that's what you've seen. That's how you've learned to cope, is by turning all of this hate that had been turned against you into a joke. The only way it's okay is if all that stuff that people were saying about you was just jokes.
Yeah,
And
this
so it's
could be
okay for me to make the
processing.
same jokes.
This could
Maybe.
be processing.
Yeah.
I hope Ashley gets to the other side of it.
Yeah. Now I feel a little bad for Ashley. Damn it.
Well,
Damn it.
yeah.
Empathy.
Yeah.
Damn that empathy.
Back to our last episode, we were talking about empathy. Yes. So
Previously.
previously on the Cackling Cauldron. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the problem with Am I the Asshole
Coven.
is we get a very limited view, a very biased perspective. We get one person's story. We don't get to see all the other stuff going on. So the whole concept of Am I the Asshole is a little flawed, but it's also very entertaining.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
And it
entertaining.
generates discussion, and that's what needs to happen. We all need to try to just dive into each other's brain for just a minute. Think about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Someone else's perspective.
Yeah, there's plenty of stories on Reddit that are fake, and I'm
yeah.
sure that we will read more than a few fake stories or stories that were literally just someone's creative writing project. or
Stay out of the
something like that.
comments.
And that's fine. That's fine because it's not. It doesn't even really matter if that story has individual veracity to it. That's not what we're trying to do with it. We're trying to have a conversation about what's right and what's wrong,
Yeah.
and how one should behave if something that crazy were to happen to them. But if someone just does crazy stuff, then yeah, we'll call it out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're gonna call it out.
Well, thank you so much for joining us at the Cackling Coven. We'll be back with more tarot deck reviews and Reddit stories and tabletop conversation cards and other things later. We'll
Board
set up
games.
social media.
Games.
Yeah, so we're going to set up some social media. We don't have it yet, but stay tuned for us to let you know how to find us on social media. And draw a tarot card if you've got a tarot deck around. And tell us what you think about how that card reveals your journey with us in our podcasting community.
Come for
Let
us
us
in the
know.
comments. Let us know what you want to see.
I don't know about comments.
Like and subscribe.
Oh, I'm not going to say that.
I feel dirty.
It does feel so gross. Like and subscribe.
I'm a consumer whore.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.